You in a food coma? You look like you're in a food coma.
Hello everyone, welcome to Sunday. Today I'm going to be talking about Fallout 4, which I've talked about a little bit on the vlog already up to this point, and certainly by the time you guys get this vlog, which will be several months down the road, I apologize for that, you are probably, you've been watching me play Fallout 4 over on Steven Plays, so I'm probably pretty far into the game at this point, sure. Today's vlog, however, is going to be about my initial thoughts on Fallout 4, because I haven't done that yet. And today's a perfect day to do it, because today is the last pre-recorded day. We did a 5-day weekend, which means that I pre-recorded the first 5 episodes of Fallout 4, and have been releasing them every single day since last, Wednesday, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday. And I have to say, I have loved the game. And if you needed a recommendation from me for the game, here it is. It is glowing. It is wonderful. You admittedly have to really enjoy first-person shooters, because it's a first-person shooter, and you have to enjoy RPGs to some extent. I wouldn't call it an RPG with shooter elements. It's a shooter with RPG elements, definitely, but man, it's good. You have to enjoy storytelling. You have to enjoy, to some extent, dark humor. But if you enjoy these things, man, what a game. So this is going to be spoiler-free in terms of story. So if you have not played Fallout 4 yet, or haven't watched the Let's Play or anything like that, you're good. I'm not going to spoil you on any story. But I will say that the game starts well. I really enjoy it when games have a really strong start. Fallout 4 has a fantastic start. Wonderful start. I really like it. I really like so many of the little details, but like having the voice actor that did Codsworth record like 1,000 names, so he actually says your name. So cool. Such a nice little bonus. And that's one of many details that you'll notice just in the first little bit of the game. My playtime on the game right now in the first 5 episodes is somewhere between 2 and 3 hours. I think it's closer to 3. The episodes are 30 minutes long, but I think it's closer to 3 because I think at the end of the last episode, I kind of go scavenge after I had killed all the guys in the museum, and I start taking their stuff. So that's probably why I'm closer to 3 hours. But the game is good, and there's a lot of attention to detail. The lore in the Fallout series is just, in my opinion, objectively better than the Elder Scrolls series. I really loved Skyrim. Like, I really love Skyrim, but I feel that the lore and the backstory in the Fallout series, specifically judging just Fallout 4, just really pulls you in more powerfully than Skyrim. And maybe it's not an objective thing. Maybe it's not objectively better. Maybe it's just I feel more compelled because it's a post-apocalyptic thing, and you can kind of in some way see that happening. It's like, okay, a nuclear war that happens sometime in the far future, I could see that happening. As opposed to, Skyrim and the Elder Scrolls series, where it's like, okay, lizards who, cast fireballs out of their hands, that's not a real thing. So we can mark that off and say that's less interesting. Maybe it's just more compelling to see people, actual human people go through struggles, but the way that it's written in Fallout is just really good. It was written extremely well in 3, which I played all of, and it's written extremely well in 4, which I played 3 hours of, and I've just really enjoyed it so far. Like, it's just been really good. There have been some changes from 3 to 4. I never played New Vegas, but I have played 3. There's been some changes from 3 to 4, and from what I understand reading online, there's been some mechanics that were in New Vegas that were left out for 4 for either better or worse. So I don't know anything about those. Haven't played that title. But like, there's no more condition for the gun, which means your guns don't have health. Used to be you would grab an identical gun and then you'd like repair them together, or use the one to repair together, or something like that. It's been a while since I played 3, but like that's gone. But they've expanded upon so much in 4, and I've only barely scratched the surface of what you can do. But like, there's gun mods. Every single item in the world is worth something because it can be scrapped for a part. and then that part or whatever can be used to create something else. That's awesome. There's like a workshop mode where you can actually establish a base and you can like demolish things and create new stuff. Like I said, I'm only at the very beginning of the game, but I've seen all of this stuff and I've seen how it works. There's the cooking system that was in Skyrim is now in Fallout, and that makes a lot of sense, and it's just a really good addition. So they took everything, in my opinion, that had been working well in Fallout 3, and they added on it. The only thing that's really wildly different, and I don't have a strong opinion about yet, as of this point, is the dialogue system, the choice to give the character a recorded voice. I don't know how I feel about that yet. I don't feel negatively towards it, but I don't particularly feel positively towards it. There's pros and cons, in my opinion, right now. And it's really neat that your character has a voice, but it's also really crummy that the one voice is your voice. Like, you can be male or female, and then there's one voice for each. And I understand that it would have been a lot more work to have, multiple voice actors do all the lines. But I think that's the one downside, and I think it worked well for the character I made. Like, I feel like the dialogue options that I have available to me and the way in which they are delivered works well for the character I made. I feel like Grit Jones would actually talk like that, and that's good. But if someone wants to make a character who is hokey and crazy strong, but has a super low intelligence, and they imagine him to talk like this, blah, blah, blah. Like, if they wanted to do that, that was all in their imagination before, and now, whenever the character opens his mouth to speak, he's going to speak like Grit Jones, or like anyone else, so that's kind of bad. Like, it's weird, because, like, the game itself is the same, the game itself is just like Fallout 3, except expanded upon and better, more or less, in every single way, but then you have this, and I don't know how I feel about it, and I think that I'll probably feel good about it because of who I'm playing. But if I wanted to play a different character, then that sort of sucks. If you had in your mind, I'm a crazy guy that goes around and beats people up and I speak in grunts, then, well, you don't actually speak in grunts. You actually sound fairly sophisticated. And one of the things that they did in some of the older Fallout games is that if you had a low enough intelligence that your character actually did speak in grunts, it was impossible to even complete most of the quests in the game, because when you go to talk, your character just goes, your options for dialogue were like super limited, which is really funny. I don't think they did that quite to that extent in 3 in New Vegas. From what I've read, it's not quite that bad, but they also show off parts of that occasionally when you have a really low intelligence. Like, you can get through some missions because people feel sorry for you and stuff like that. So that's neat, but all of that, of course, is kind of lost in 4. I haven't tested that, but I assume that if you set your intelligence to 1, that you still have all the same dialogue options. So, yeah, it is a little different, and like I said, I don't hate it, but I don't like it. I'm still sort of neutral on it right now, and maybe as the game goes on, I'll change, but that's the only big change that I'm not so certain about. Everything else has been great. Everything else has been fantastic, and if you can overlook that, then the game is honestly probably perfect 10. Once again, I played 3 hours of this game, so maybe I'm not the perfect judge to give it an amazing score, but I've really enjoyed what I've played so far, and I had a lot of faith in Bethesda to do justice to the 4th title, and from what I've played so far, they are. And from what I've read in the comments from people saying, I've put 30 hours in, I've put this many hours in, it sounds like people are really excited about the game. And I think that there's a lot more fantastic stuff to come. So, yeah. I also really enjoyed that we decided to do fan art. That was a really solid decision, because that was one of my favorite parts about Skyrim, was seeing what people would create, and now we are rewarding people for creating stuff because it actually is just shown on the channel. And there's been some really amazing stuff created so far, so I'm looking forward to seeing what comes out in the future. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I feel like my opinion, obviously, of the game could change, either further positive or slightly more negative. But I will do that at a later date. Obviously, at this point, I've only played the first 5 episodes, and I've got to start recording either tomorrow or the next day, episode 6, which will be the first time we take in viewer input, and my God, there's a lot of it. There's a lot of people telling me to do this or that or whatever, so I got to get on that. But yeah, I've enjoyed the game. If you guys have Fallout 4 and you've enjoyed it as well, let me know. Like I said, by the time you guys get this vlog, I'm sure I'm a little further into the game. Probably not much further, but a little further. And hopefully I'm still enjoying it just as much as I am right now. That's it for today. Let's meet back tomorrow, shall we? You look luxurious.
Thanks.
Do you feel luxurious?
I guess.
There's a sauna. We got in it. And this is going to blow your mind, but there was just like a sauna in there.
This place is... God, I thought someone was watching me. That was creepy. He's got a screwdriver in his hand.
Hey, up here, on the balcony. I've got a group of settlers inside. The raiders are almost through the door. Grab that laser musket and help us, please!